Hey everyone, George Weber here, G Weber Arts. We're going to do a little Quickie tool review. It's actually not really a tool, but it's tool related. And if you're a garage guy doing stuff, you probably have one of these or want one of these or have been thinking about one of these. So here we go. Okay, what we're doing today is the Monster 8-outlet surge protector. Pretty good unit. It's good for 1080 joules, has 8 power sockets, has 2 USB ports, so if you need to charge your phone or other USB devices, nice feature. It has a 15-foot cord. We'll look at that because it's pretty heavy duty. It says metal housing. That's half true, half not true, and we'll get to that in a minute too. All right, so that's your basic box and product there. The cost on these, yeah, it varies wherever you are, but this one was $44.99, not including tax. That's here in California. You know, maybe other places are a little cheaper, maybe it's a little more. Who knows? So, there's that. Now, about this unit, I have 3 of these, and I have another one that's similar but not this model inside the house for my TV and all that stuff and so forth and so on. This is the one that I use out here in the garage. Again, nice heavy duty cord. You know, this is not lightweight stuff. This is a heavy duty cord. It's gonna handle some power without a problem. Again, this is rated for 1080 joules, which I find to be pretty good. Now on to some of the little minor annoyances in my mind about this. Again, on the box it says metal housing. The front, yes, that is definitely metal. The back is all plastic, and not a deal breaker obviously, and not uncommon for power strips to have a plastic back and maybe a metal front, or a plastic front for that matter. I like the fact that it's metal because it's, you know, shop worthy. I like the fact that it's bright yellow so you don't have to worry about being able to see it, so that's nice. But there's a couple of spots where Monster and their design department, engineering department, whatever you want to call it, just decided to take a great big freaking nap. And a couple of those features are, one, like a lot of these larger power strips, they will have a keyway on the back, right? As you can see, big round hole, then a slot, which actually goes this way, obviously. And you put a screw in your wall, and the screw goes in that hole, and then you pull it down and it locks in place. The engineers that designed this, or the designers, or whoever, decided to ignore the fact that screw heads come in a variety of sizes, and they're usually not a dead flat screw head. So you run into 2 problems with these keyways. One, finding a screw head that is small enough in diameter to fit in here. Two, a screw head that is thin enough and flat, and it has to be almost dead flat, to fit in the slot that they're provided, because the front plastic plate and the back plastic plate of this keyway, there's a tiny slot, maybe a 1/16 of an inch wide. So even a drywall screw, which won't fit in the hole to start with, won't easily lock into place. You would have to force it into the holes, and then you'd have to slap it down to get it to grip. That's not the way you do things. They don't provide screws. They don't seem to have a mounting bracket that, you know, it clips onto, that you screw the mounting bracket onto the wall and then clip this onto it. That doesn't seem to exist either, at least not that I have found as of yet. And I'm thinking for, you know, a unit that costs $45, you know, the least they can do is make it easy for you to mount it on the wall. Now, the next thing I discovered rather quickly when I was trying to mount it on the wall is the keyway works this way, right? You put the screw in, you lock it down. That's what it's supposed to do. Now let's turn the unit over. Notice anything unusual? Like the fact that all the text is upside down now, and the power switch would also be essentially upside down? Really? You know, sure, I know by the lights that it's grounded and protected when it's powered, but it'd be kind of nice to be able to actually read which one's which in the event that something starts blinking or acting up. I know what it is. That would be kind of nice. So to me, that's cockeyed. This whole thing should be 180, you know. So I don't understand that. And then the next thing is the power switch says reset and off. And while I haven't had a chance to test whether or not that actually works, I can tell you that a defective one of these that I had, and I peeked inside, I also looked online everywhere, these do not have fuses, so you can't put a new fuse in it. The reset, at least on the one that I had, did not seem to reset. And the problem that I had with one of these units, and again, I've got three, you know, was this bank worked fine. All the power was there, no problems. This bank, absolutely no power whatsoever. And I went so far as to test it with my tester and my other little socket tester, and like I say, yes, no, absolutely. Tried using the reset on-off power switch a few times, unplugged it, waited a while, did everything you can imagine to do. No, just dead. Now, when you start reading their little tiny slip of paper that tells you about the product, which is very little information, it tells you if for any reason it doesn't work, it has to be returned. Why? Because there's no fuses and there's no nothing. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just done. It has to be returned. And in my case, I was fortunate enough to have kept the receipt and ran down to the hardware store. They were very nice, and they were like, oh yeah, no problem, just fill out a little defective report, brand new one, here you go, have a nice day. Not trusting Monster at that point, when I went to the hardware store, I took my tester with me, plugged it into the wall at the hardware store, and made sure all of these were hot and everything was fine. And I was like, okay, great, now I'll go home. So lesson learned there. Even when you're paying $50 for something, yeah, just be leery, especially if you have to drive a long way, which fortunately I didn't. So, Monster power strip, 1080 joules, 8 socket, 2 USB port, bright yellow housing, nice for the shop. Yeah, especially with a 15-foot cord, that's nice. Would I buy it again? Sure. I would definitely buy another one if I need one. Would I test it before leaving the store? Yeah, I'd do that too. It's just those little gotchas that I find incredibly annoying at a nearly $50 price point, especially not being able to use the keyways without either modifying the keyway or trying to modify some screws to actually get them to fit right. Either way, that's just, no, not good. So, do I recommend this unit? I'm going to say yes, but with those little foibles in mind, you know, that know about it. All right, so that's that. I hope this was helpful for somebody in the future when they're thinking about a power strip like this. They are considerations, you know, depending on what you want to do with it. So if you like what I'm doing, click that like button. Give me a subscribe if you like to subscribe. Definitely leave some comments what your thoughts are about the monster power strip here, because I'd love to hear what people think of it or think of my review of it. And yeah, that's it. All right, see you in the next video. Have a good time and build something cool in your garage.